My name is Nate Tubbs with Together Chicago. We're so glad that you're here today. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. So I want to tell you a little bit about why we do Building Blocks of Peace. Dr. Feuders said earlier, we've been doing this since 2018, and the goal has been to use this springtime to learn from each other, to encourage each other, to challenge each other, right? And so that when we come to the warmer months of the year, when we come to the summer, when we all know there are great issues in our neighborhoods, that we would be equipped, prepared, and ready to do that. So I want to give you some thoughts about why Building Blocks of Peace. So first of all, you can think of the phrase Building Blocks of Peace in two different ways. Building blocks of peace, meaning like the elements that make for peace. What are the pieces that we want to piece together that would make peace happen? But also building blocks of peace, building places that would be peaceful places. So we want to talk about elements that make for peace, and we want to talk about the places that we want to do that work, okay? So I want you to think about that throughout the day today. You're going to learn from some great people today what are the elements that make for peace, and how can we mobilize in specific places to do that work. I want to read a quote to you. It says, "Many studies show that there are two major determinants of local safety. Number one, how many neighbors we know by name. And number two, how often we are present and associated in public, that is, outside our houses." There's data and studies that shows that knowing your neighbors' names and being associated together outdoors are significant determining factors in the safety of your block and of your community. Isn't that amazing? And so simple, right? It sounds so simple. So one of the phrases we talk about with Building Blocks of Peace is this term called faithful presence. Faithful presence. And what we mean by this is we're seeking the welfare, the well-being of our blocks and our neighborhoods through consistent, positive presence in proximity to our homes, our organizations, and places of need. So we want to be faithfully present there. The next slide has a little line. If someone can tell me what this is from, or maybe sing it. Where everybody knows your name, right? Okay, that's a place what's a place like where everybody knows your name? That's probably a place where you have been faithfully present, to be known and to know others, to know them by name. So I want to ask a question. Where are you a regular? Where are you faithfully present? Where do you show up faithfully? The next question I want to ask is, are you a known character in the story of your block and of your neighborhood? Are you a known character? Do you show up faithfully? And then from another famous author's book right over here, Dr. John Feuder, a line from Doc's book, Neighborhood Mapping. If you were to leave your block, or if your church or organization were to leave your neighborhood, would anybody notice? And would the neighborhood care? That's a powerful question that we need to reckon with. That's what we're trying to do here with Building Blocks of Peace. So I'm going to be quick. I want to give you the big picture, the 6-month overview of what we're trying to do. So you'll see we're here at the beginning in March. But as we've mentioned, there's going to be another training in April, another in May. And then on Memorial Day weekend is an event called Hands Across Chicago. How many of you have been a part of Hands Across Chicago in the past? Okay, so this is a very practical thing that we're asking you to be involved in after we do our trainings. We're going to do our trainings, and then we say, hey, let's go and do that. Let's go practice that. And it's a great time to come alongside each other in that work. So that's on Memorial Day weekend. Another annual event that takes place in the summer is called National Night Out. It's another great opportunity where you can show up alongside your district, alongside other partners. So we invite you to be a part of these 3 trainings, to be a part of Hands Across Chicago this year, National Night Out. But also, you're going to hear today, there's so many other little, small, local initiatives around the city that you can get plugged into. Your district faith-based groups, mobilization organizations from around the city. Many who lead those groups are here today with us. So there are tons of opportunities to get involved. But we're glad you're here, and we invite you to be a part of this flow from now through the summer with us.